guys, it's Anna, and today I'm going to show you how to find the sine, cosine, and tangent of an angle so quick and easy. Let's get right to it. So the first thing you need to know in order to find the sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle is whether or not a side is the opposite side or the adjacent side. So let's say we're looking at angle X. This is X degrees, right? And the angle X, for angle X, and let's say we have up here angle Y. Okay, so for X and Y, the hypotenuse is always going to be the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the largest side in a right triangle, and it's always the same no matter what angle you're looking at it from. But for X, the adjacent side is 4 because the adjacent side touches the angle. And for angle X, side 3 is the opposite side because it does not touch the angle. So for angle X, side 4 is adjacent because it touches. Side 3 is opposite because it does not touch. For angle Y, side 3 is adjacent because it touches. And side 4 is opposite because it does not touch the angle, okay? So if it's the side is adjacent if it touches, it's opposite if it does not touch. So, but whether it's adjacent or opposite depends on which angle you are looking from, what your point of view is. So for angle X, 4 is adjacent, 3 is opposite. For angle Y, 4 is opposite, 3 is adjacent. So in order to find the sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle, you have to memorize these trig ratios. Very easy with an acronym called SOH. I recommend you practice this a couple times. Make sure you get it right because in English the O's and the A's can sound kind of similar. But SOH, CAH, CAH, TOA, TOA. And it stands for these ratios. So S is sine equals its opposite over hypotenuse. The H is hypotenuse, the O is opposite. Cosine of an angle is going to be the ratio of the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And tangent is going to be the ratio of the opposite side over the adjacent. Okay, awesome. So let's take a look at a couple of examples because this is really it. This is all you need to know. In order to find the sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle, you just have to know SOH. You just have to know which side's opposite. Remember, opposite doesn't touch, adjacent touches. All right, so let's do it. So let's find the sine of angle X. All right, so opposite side from angle X is which one? 3, good. The hypotenuse is 5, yep. Okay, let's find the cosine of X. We have the adjacent. What's adjacent from X? Adjacent touches 4, right? What's the hypotenuse? Again, always 5. All right, what's the tangent of angle X? Opposite side from X is 3, right? And what's the adjacent side from X? 4. Very good. All right, let's do it with angle Y. Here we go. You probably didn't think it would be this easy, did you? Sine of Y equals opposite from Y. What's opposite from Y? Which one does not touch? 4, right? Hypotenuse, 5. Let's do cosine of Y. Okay, cosine, adjacent. Which one's adjacent from Y? 3. Hypotenuse, 5. Let's do tangent of Y. Opposite, 4. Adjacent, 3. That's literally it. That's how you find the sine, cosine, tangent of these angles. Okay, now notice this. This is something they love to show and like kind of push on the SAT and the ACT. Notice how the sine of X is 3/5 and the cosine of Y is 3/5. Ooh, so the sine of x is the same as the cosine of y. The sine of this one angle of a right triangle is the same as the cosine of the other. Why is that? It's because with sine and cosine, you both have the hypotenuse on the bottom in the denominator. You have an opposite for one, adjacent for the other. And when you're looking at x, so 3 is the opposite for x, but 3 is the adjacent for y. So sometimes they will ask some type of question that kind of hints at this. They're like, if you know that the sine of x is 3/5, what is the cosine of y? And you can say, oh, I know it's going to be the same. Now, what you could always do if you want to double check, you didn't want to rely on your memory to memorize this, if they tell you the sine of x is 3/5, then you know that for sine, it's the opposite over hypotenuse. So you could draw a triangle, label x, you could put 3 as the opposite side, 5 as the hypotenuse. You could either use Pythagorean theorem to find out this length is 4 if you needed to, right? But you wouldn't need to. And then you could say, okay, here's y. Now, what's the adjacent side? Aha, it's 3. What's the hypotenuse? Aha, it's 5. So you can look for relationships. This can help you to solve parts of a triangle. I've seen also questions where they are telling you like 3 and 4, they don't tell you the hypotenuse. And a lot of students are like, oh, well, first thing I need to go find the hypotenuse with Pythagorean theorem. But then it's a multiple choice test, and all of the answer choices only have 3 and 4 in them, and none of them have the hypotenuse in. If they tell you one leg's 3, the other leg's 4, the hypotenuse can't be 3 or 4. If none of the options have anything else in them, then if you know, for example, if you know you're not working with the hypotenuse, then you'll know that you're not dealing with sine or cosine, because sine and cosine both deal with the hypotenuse. So if there's a problem where they're not giving you the hypotenuse, there's no way for you to figure out the hypotenuse, although usually you can use Pythagorean theorem, then you might say, oh, okay, if it's just opposite and adjacent sides, we're dealing with tangent. So again, opposite side doesn't touch, adjacent side touches, SOH, CAH, TOA, draw it out, label them. You're going to ace this test. Good luck. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.